I sometimes find I have to start. It's really turning circle. I said, you gotta know it right. He goes, what button is that? Right up that steering wheel. I said, should be one with the yellow indicator light with the, like the front wheels on it. Oh, yeah. Just, oh, it turned really good.
And it's hot. And then you
Well, when you lock the front end and it locks the rear too. There's another switch to unlock that and leave that too. Anyhow, it's just hilarious. He said, let's not get any.
Was it just spinning? We just replaced them all at the last meeting, so they should all be good. Yeah. And then like I said, the planning commission meeting was only 10 minutes, so they didn't use up any. Should be, yeah.
It's always good.
He's good.
Radio, do we need to put headphones in there? What do you, he's supposed to talk.
Nothing will stop it.
Well, oh,
Oh, then they shot it.
they should.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can stop. There was.
Guy down. You know, somebody else. Down the street.
Yeah.
Car.
This off, this sent to Jim. City for the sec, do you want to just elaborate on this? That is for regulations.
Deputies are up in the back.
Yeah, that's just the connection with the BCA on the, verifying that we have prosecutions, all that really is.
Yeah, I think I just made a comment to that because I had a couple people look at the agenda. And they had a hard time finding
That's
the
a
resolution.
Hmm.
And I know how it is.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if anybody had a question about
They had a
that,
whip violation.
then it's just certified for prosecution or something.
Right, yeah.
I didn't want to pull it off.
No, it doesn't make it up. I'll just say it's,
Comment that's just solidified.
yeah, with the BCA that we have prosecution basically, so.
All right, I'm gonna start on it.
Not saying, it usually works for me.
Trust me, a lot later for us.
Well, I was a little worried the kids.
All right, 6 o'clock. We'll get started with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the December 20th Credit River City Council meeting. Excuse me. We'll start out with approving or amending the agenda. If anybody has any changes to the agenda, otherwise, we'll take a motion to approve the agenda as is.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make that motion.
Okay, I have a motion to approve as is. I have a second to approve as is. Motion and second to approve the agenda as written. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. The consent agenda, those items on the city council agenda, which are considered routine, non-controversial, are included as part of the consent agenda. Unless a council member specifically requests that an item on the consent agenda be removed and considered separately, items on the consent agenda are considered under one motion, a second, and a vote. Any item removed from the consent agenda shall be placed on the agenda under old business. Tonight on the consent agenda, we have final payment for Towering Oaks Road project. We have the snow plant agreement for the ranch of Credit River. We have treasurer reports. We have the 2022 fee ordinance number 2021-10. We have resolution 2021-71 approving state of Minnesota joint powers agreements with the city of Credit River on the behalf of its city attorney, which is basically just the BCA and the state acknowledging that we have prosecution agreement. We have the 2022 levy resolution, 2021-68 resolution to set the final 2021 levy collection in 2022. We have bond 2021A transfer of fund resolution 2021-69. And we have a motion to adopt the 2022 budget presented on December 6, 2021. Is there anything on the consent agenda tonight that any council member would like to pull and consider separately? Brent?
Mr. Mayor, I would like to pull number 4, but maybe we don't have to pull it. It just needs to say, Appendix A has to say City of Credit River fee schedule instead of Credit River Township.
I think we can change the title of it without.
If we can change it, then.
I think we can change the title without separately discussing.
Karen is shaking her head saying yes.
That doesn't, I don't think that's a piece of it that needs a separate discussion. So we'll, semantics, we'll change that. So other than that, everybody good with the consent agenda? If somebody wants to make a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Leroy.
Second.
Thank you, Brent. I've got a motion and a second to approve tonight's consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Open forum. The public forum is to afford the public an opportunity to address concerns to the city council. The public forum will be no longer than 30 minutes in length, and each presenter will have no more than 5 minutes to speak. Topics of discussion restricted to local governmental topics rather than private or political agendas. The city council may discuss, but will not take formal action on public forum presentations tonight. Would anybody like to speak for public forum? We do ask that you come up to the podium and sign in and state your name and address to the council. Looks like we have no takers for open forum tonight, so we'll close open forum. We've got no public hearings tonight. So that moves us into general business. General business number 1 is the Century Pond second edition. We've got 7 variance requests and a request for preliminary plat. And we'll start with Cindy Nash, our planner on that one. Good evening, Cindy.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We do have 7 variances and a preliminary plat for Mr. Kane's proposed subdivision. And I'm going to just share my screen for a minute here. The proposed subdivision is 3 lots, platted right-of-way. I don't know if you can see my pointer on here or not.
Yep.
But platted right-of-way for Kane Avenue. And then where the hash marks are going through, that would be a paved cul-de-sac in the version of the preliminary plat that was submitted. And the variances all relate in one way or another to the fact that Kane Avenue is not being extended down through this area with the cul-de-sac ending more in this area, similar to a version that would look more like this that was submitted at one time, but then they did submit this other preliminary plat for consideration instead. So without, if it had been prepared in a manner that looked more like this preliminary plat would not have required the 7 variances. In your packet, I've added this evening an email that was received on December 13th from Mr. Kane for your consideration as well. Those are items that he wished to talk about in the event that he was able to be present tonight to talk to you about those. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, so Cindy, if you want to remind the council, please, now this was at our planning commission in November, correct? And
Correct. It was at the Planning Commission in November, and they recommended denial on all 7 variances plus the preliminary plat.
okay, thank you. Council members, anybody have any questions for Planner Nash?
No.
Nope.
I don't see that Mr. Kane is in attendance now. At the planning commission, they did hold a public hearing at the time, and Mr. Kane's attorney did speak at that. Leroy.
Mr. Mayor, his son is here. He wants to speak or whatever. I don't know.
Okay, so that would be up to the council then. If you, the public hearing was open, it was closed at the planning commission meeting.
Yep.
So I guess then that would be up to us as a council if we wanted to take further comment from the applicant's family. My suggestion would be, I would be open to that if it was specific to what the need or the hardship from, these 7 variances. I guess that's what, in my mind, we need to consider is if there's truly a hardship that would, a reason why to change the ordinance for this one. So I mean, if you guys are okay,
I think we should let.
Yeah.
if you want to speak, you can.
The parents said that they're dropping out. They're not continuing with this.
Yep.
So that's it. It's done.
Well, there was a letter sent and then that, Bob or Cindy, did you receive a note today at all that they were withdrawing again?
No.
No, I did not receive that.
There should have been something sent that they're dropping out.
Karen, you didn't receive anything? I didn't receive anything either.
But that's what the plan is. They're not going to continue 2 lots.
I just double checked in case it came through in the last half hour, but I don't have anything there.
Yeah, the last one I got from the Anton was nothing saying that they're dropping out or withdrawing.
Sent at 12:30 p.m. today.
Who was the recipients on that, sir?
Cindy Nash.
Cindy, it looked like it was coming to you.
What time did
12:30
they say
today.
that was? And I'll double.
12:30 today.
It was from Amazon.
From Anton?
I suppose it could have gone in a junk folder or something.
Give me a quick minute.
So the one that I got received from Anton at 1:30 today, it says Mr. Kane will not be present at the hearing this evening due to the confirm whether to speak or not, and then a recent COVID positive test within the family. We'll try to have somebody present, but then ask that do we consider the email from John on the dated December 13th. That came at 1:30 today.
Correct, and then I received that one as well, and then I responded at 1:36 saying that I would make sure that the city council received that email from December 13th, which I did, and that was in your packet then, and then received a follow-up email from Mr. Cheskis at 1:38 saying, very good, thank you.
Okay, Cindy, now, and Bob weigh in this, so we could, because of the where we are and the waiver that was signed, we do have some time that we could table this tonight, right?
Yes.
So that's an option as well. So if we want to make a decision, we could make a decision. So we're not up against the clock on that, or or if you guys are ready to make a decision on these variance requests, we can make that decision.
I guess the question I have is, if the letter was sent and we didn't receive it, do we have to do anything?
I don't know that we have any.
I would think Bob would have to advise us on that, would he not?
Yeah.
Hey,
Bob, if
They sent a letter. It went to Cindy and it just hasn't made its way for whatever reason.
it's lost in the airwaves.
Councilmember, could you speak into your microphone?
Turn your microphone on. There you go.
Bob, you copy clear?
I can hear you now.
I guess the question I have is, before we do anything, is if they had sent a letter at 12:30 to Cindy that said, we're deciding to withdraw, which his son is here saying, do we need to do anything?
If they
We
are
have-
officially. Yes. Sorry, Cindy, I cut you off.
Oh, I was gonna say, we have not received a letter though. So if, the options, you could table if you wanted to see if that letter comes in. The benefit to the applicant would be that they could reapply for those variances, within 6 months. If they withdraw them rather than a decision being made on those tonight that was not favorable to them. But otherwise, we will at some point have to take action, because if we haven't received the written withdrawal of the applications, then we'll have to take action at some point.
Right.
They're really, from the city's perspective, if you wish to table this to your next board meeting to clarify with Mr. Kane whether he or his attorney, whether they are in fact formally withdrawing or not, that might be of some benefit to Mr. Kane and his family. As Cindy said, the only thing it would impact is his ability to reapply. And if he does wish to preserve that right in some other fashion, it might be better for us to table this matter.
That's kind of what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Is that it sounds like some processes have been put in place with that they probably did it so that they could preserve their interests, and I think that's the right to do, and I think we should table it then until we make sure that that letter has time to catch up with us.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe you. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a belief issue, so I just
Right.
think that it just hasn't caught up.
No,
with us.
exactly. That's why, that's why I wanted to ask if we were.
Yeah.
So,
So if somebody needs a motion, I would. make
so
that
Andrew's
motion.
making a motion to table this until our January 3rd council meeting.
Correct.
I'll second, or Leroy. if you-
I'll take Leroy on the second. A motion and a second to table this until the January 3rd council meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. All right, so then that'll give us time to see if that letter does in fact materialize, and we can see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
So, all right. With that, I see Shane joined too. I don't know that we have anything else on our agenda. Bob, Cindy, and Shane that unless you thought you did.
Actually, Chris, this is Dominique. I would, if possible, I would like Shane to stay for the CSTS workshop part,
Sure.
if you're able, Shane.
All right. Well, let's move into,
I just have a quick question for Shane on the ranch snow plowing. If if the roads are marked in any way, the curb or anything, Shane?
The developer was actually in the town hall last Tuesday, and he was actually there at the same time as another developer for the Terra Farm development, and they were kind of talking extensively about the different ways to mark the curb. I think it's something that he's planning on doing, but as of last Tuesday, they were not marked.
Okay,
As of taking a right turn, they weren't marked. But the roads are plowed and the curbs are in.
Yeah,
Or, I'm sorry, the roads are paved and the curbs are in.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, but we don't want, the second lift isn't on, we don't want to hit the curb.
right, there's that,
Yeah.
because they're not up to the
No, I'm
curb yet, yeah.
Yeah. I look at
Okay.
it every
Okay.
time I leave.
Good enough.
Thank you. Any council member updates or reports or anything?
But
Al?
I just have one. I talked to Dominique, and I'm sure Karen wants to do this too. We've had an instance where somebody came to the door when just Dominique was here trying to get in. And so I'm gonna go ahead and install a security camera outside, be $150 maximum. And they can watch it from their laptops in here and see who's out there.
That's a good idea. You know, do we want to take it one step further and maybe even just talk about like putting in the RO system or something like that, you know, that other municipalities use that, so that we actually have true video of the.
Well, this has video recording in it.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, something like that would
Yeah.
probably be good.
It's cheap. I mean, I figure I can do the whole thing for $150. I'll just install it myself.
Yeah,
Sounds like a
I'm
good
good.
idea.
Makes sense.
right, absolutely. Yeah, I know that's happened a couple times.
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
I have one thing. I got a call from one of the board members of Soil and Water. I understand the county's gonna get out of doing the ditches. Cleaning the ditches, and they'd like Soil and Water to take it over. So there's some discussion going on that, so just to make everybody else aware of it.
Okay,
They want to free up, the county wants to free up their person.
okay, interesting.
That's all I have.
Anything else? No, good. Let's see, redistricting is becoming a big thing right now. I know Karen and I were on a call with the county this afternoon, talking about redistricting. Doesn't affect us a ton, other than we probably want to consider a second precinct and divide up. You know, we'll have to see, we'll have to work on that, given what that call probably along the school district border would probably be, although the population would not be equal on both of them, but that's probably the easiest way to do it. We'll have to talk to them some more as that process goes on.
Chris, when would that be effective? That wouldn't be this year.
No, we couldn't, because we can't
Right.
change any polling places
Right,
right now.
right.
We can change the precincts now, but we can't change polling places. That has to be done before December of
Right.
each year. Yeah.
So the
So,
earliest we would look at would be 2024 possibly
yeah,
election.
that's probably the, you know, unless there's another school referendum or something in 23
If I understood it correctly, you could have two precincts.
and the same polling place.
Yes,
Yes,
we could still
we could still,
start it.
yep, absolutely. That's ours is a lot cleaner than the ones that were the big messes was Spring Lake Township. Prairie Lake was messy. Shakopee, where they meet up with Jackson Township, was messy, so ours is easy.
Yeah.
That's all I've got. Andrew or Brent, do you guys have anything?
The only other question I had is as we go into our work group on the CSTS is we had one of our community members spend some time at a public informational about the maybe some notification modifications that have been made to billing. And I don't remember if we had some homework pieces on mid-year reminders and some homework on other hardships that we've had in the past. So I didn't know if there was any update on that from Dominique or Karen, or if that's something we want to address in the work group.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I think that was kind of, Brent was here that night, Brent and I and Doug together on that one.
Okay.
The person who was here that night, after that, did drop her request.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that piece was kind of got settled, so.
All
Yeah,
right, just didn't know.
Yeah.
There might have been some more for us to talk about at the work
Yeah.
group on that.
all right. Next up, approval of claims, there was a, in the packet tonight, list of claims for $59,845.15. Is there any of those claims anybody has any questions on? If not, I would take the motion to approve the list of claims.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Al. Second. Thank you, Leroy. Motion is second to approve the list of claims tonight for $59,845.15. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Then I would take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Andrew.
Second.
Thank you, Brent. Motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
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 Anybody opposed?